Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian of SuperMarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of the new indie drama Freeheld. So let's get right into it. Now, for all those out there who don't know, the film Freeheld is actually a sort of a narrative adaptation of the 2007 Oscar-nominated documentary short film of the same name. Now, I haven't actually seen the original short doco, so I can't really say how the film sort of compares to it. So I'm pretty much just going to judge this film on its own as a film. So let's get right into it. Now, I'll start off by saying though, I think there's a lot of elements that I did really like about this film. I think some of the performances from the cast, particularly Julianne Moore, Ellen Page, and especially Michael Shannon, all do really solid work in this film. Particularly Michael Shannon, who has kind of the most interesting character to play with, and it was actually really cool to kind of see him take on this sort of like really compassionate character, and I think he did a really good job with that. And if anything, he's kind of like the standout performance of the film. And I also like the sort of the relationship between the three main characters, particularly sort of the love story between Julianne Moore and Ellen Page's character, and sort of the working slash friendship between Julianne Moore and Michael Shannon's characters. And that to me is some of the more interesting and compelling stuff for the film. And also, this is a film that has a really sort of strong message, that it's one that I wholeheartedly agree with, and it does a pretty solid job at sort of like conveying that. But that being said though, I kind of feel like that's the reason why this film was basically made. And I'm not going to say that the message is bad, it isn't. Like I said, the message of this film is one that I wholeheartedly agree with, 110%. But I kind of feel like that's all that, like I said before, is all this film was just basically made to do. Is just to be a message film, and it's not. And to me, it kind of is more focused on doing that rather than sort of giving us sort of exploring more of the story or the characters and the development of that. And in a way, it makes the film come off kind of simplistic and heavy-handed. And I know that kind of sounds bad by saying that, but that's how I sort of felt like watching the film. I felt like I was sort of being told what the message of this film was about, and I kind of felt that we never really kind of saw that with to me the characters of the film kind of sort of came second towards the sort of the messages of the film. And to me, if a film's just basically is a message film, it kind of hinders the film a bit, to me, at least to me anyway. Because to me, in the end, I'm sort of more I mean, you can still have the message there, but also make it, have strong characters and a strong story to sort of back it up, and have characters who are interesting and complex. And like I said, I think a lot of the actors do a pretty solid job with their film, but they kind of like felt more sidelined because a bit at times, particularly in the second half of the film, when when the film kind of dives into sort of what the meat and the bones of the story, or at least of the real life events that happened. And particularly for me, the sort of the stronger aspects of the film is probably the first half, where we kind of see like how Julianne Moore's character, who's kind of this sort of lesbian police officer who's on her way up the ladder, and who's kind of doesn't want to tell people in her precinct that she's a lesbian because she fears that they might judge her, and also she keeps her sort of love life with Ellen Page a secret as well, and even from her own partner played by Michael Shannon. And to me, that kind of stuff was the more interesting aspects, because that really kind of gave us so much about the characters and what they're going through. But then when the second half comes in, and sort of the court sort of room stuff with the sort of them with Julianne Moore's character wanting to have sort of her police pension, and when she if she dies, go to her partner played by Ellen Page, and that to me, that's when the movie kind of sort of being as compelling as it could have been, because it sort of decided to just go message movie after that, which is a shame, because for most part up to that point it's a pretty solid job. Not to say that the second half is bad or anything, but to me it just felt like it was just more, wanted to focus more on that rather than the sort of the development of the characters and how and what they're going through in the film. But like I said, it's a message I wholeheartedly agree with, and it's an important one that must be told. But I feel like that's basically all this film was kind of made out to be, really. It's just to be a message film. So, but other than that, which is kind of sort of my biggest gripe of the film, also my other big gripe is that the film kind of feels more like, and I don't want to use this term because I feel like it is, basically the film kind of felt like it should have been just made, the film felt like it was made for TV. That's what it kind of looked from a visual standpoint and sort of from a script writing level, and it kind of feel like it could have easily played better on, say, like the Lifetime channel or maybe sort of HBO or something like that. And yeah, to me, the film just felt too much of a TV film at times, both in sort of the visual look and sort of how it sort of approached its story. And also, Steve Carell. Like, I like Steve Carell, and I think he's a really good actor and comedian. But his performance in the film felt so jarring because it just feels so out of tone with everything else. And I don't know, because I know he's playing a real life person in the film who sort of helps out more in Paige's characters, but I don't know how accurate of a portrayal it actually is, because he sort of approaches the character as a very sort of flamboyant gay character, and I don't know, and to me that kind of just felt jarring. And like I said, I don't know how the real life person is like, so I can't really say whether it's an accurate portrayal or not. But yeah, but in terms of sort of how he approached the role, it just felt out of tone with the rest of the film. So, but like I said, to me it was really sort of the performances. And I will admit that the second half, there were some moments where that I found very moving as well, particularly in the second half. And it's a message that, even though I feel like is a bit heavy-handed in its approach in this film, it's a one that I feel that is very important, and one that and this is a story that needs to be told. Like, I don't feel like this film does the real-life story justice, or at least from what I've read and learned about it, but for what it is, it's fine. Like, it's an okay film, but it's not as great as it could have been. So if I had to give Freeheld a rating, I'd give it 3 stars. So yep, that's the end of my video review of Freeheld. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone.